D, Yankee Doodle Do or Die. A real live nephew of my Uncle Sam, born on the 4th of July. Oh, I like to sing out loud. I speak better out loud. Okay, anyway, enough about that. Hello, everybody. This is Pamela Faye McFarland Walsh, a.k.a. Pammy, coming to you from Colorado Springs, where I am sitting here staring at Pikes Peak, also known as America's Mountain. And it is the 4th of July. I'm sporting my flag earrings, who are probably banging around in my headphones, making noise. I'm going to try to be still. I'm not very good at being still. I talk with my hands. I flail a bit about. And so, anyway, I just wanted to say good morning, everybody, and happy 4th of July. I'm recording today on the 4th, and I want to start by wishing a very, very happy anniversary to my sister Gail and her husband Chris, who are celebrating their 52nd wedding anniversary. 52 people. That is a lot for your sister to be celebrating. It makes you feel old. But I have to tell you, I remember that wedding very, very well. My sister started dating Chris when I was 8 years old. So I like to say that Chris has been in the family almost as long as I have. And I think my dad likes him a bit better than he likes me. But that's another topic on another show. We'll get into that some other day. But anyway, no, Chris is awesome. And he's been around for my whole life. I tell the story that when they got engaged, he bought the engagement ring from, I wish I could remember the name of the jeweler store in San Angelo. It'll come to me. But they were in San Angelo. And at the time, they had this promotion where if you bought a diamond ring, you got a free stuffed animal. And he got this free stuffed animal. So when he proposed to Gail, she got the ring and I got the stuffed animal. And the animal was this giant turtle. It forever endeared Chris Arn to me and locked his place into my heart as I was a girl who loved her stuffed animals. The wedding, let me just tell you a bit about the wedding. The wedding was July 4th, 1973, and it was in my parents' garden. My sister Gail made her own wedding dress. Our mother made our bridesmaids' dresses. And I, at the age of 11, got to wear these fabulous platform heels. I mean, I think they were, 4-inch, 5-inch platforms. They were high. And I thought I was special, I'm going to tell you, wearing those heels. The wedding was in the garden. It was really pretty. It was at 10 o'clock in the morning. And because it was the 4th of July, somebody thought it would be really funny to throw a smoke bomb into the garden, into the bushes. Now, this is West Texas where we're doing this on the 4th of July, and things are very hot and very dry. So needless to say, this little smoke bomb started a fire. We had the so-called burning bush in our front yard. And everybody's kind of running around, what do we do? What do we do? And my sister Gail, in her wedding dress, got the garden hose and hosed it down and put the fire out. And that was just one of many fun things that happened that day. Their getaway car was a GTO. And it was green, and we'd shoe polished on the windows. And they took off from San Angelo to Galveston for their honeymoon. And these all left very big marks on me as a little girl, 11-year-old girl at the time. And anyway, I just want to wish them a very, very happy anniversary. 2 years ago, we celebrated their 50th, and there was a big party. The best part of the whole evening for me was that my mother and father danced with Chris and Gail at their 50th. So on her 50th wedding anniversary, my sister danced with her daddy. And it was really, really a special event. I'm I'm going to see if I can find some photos to share with y'all on the Facebook group. And if y'all haven't been there, join us on Pammy Out Loud Facebook group. And we will share I'll share some photos of that day. Maybe I can find some of those platform shoes. They were awesome. But it was the other thing that one of the best photos of that day was the fact that my dad was a big golfer. And he had a tea time, like at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. The wedding was at 10 a.m. Oh, like it was 10 to noon was like the wedding. And we have a picture of my father dressed in his golf attire, my mother in her beautiful gown, and he is on the way to the golf course. And in the background, you can see the clock, and it says 10 to 12. Yeah, it was 11:50, and he was out the door. The men in my life, they don't miss a tea time. Let me just say that. If there's a tea time, they are on it. So anyway, we have those pictures, and it was just such a special day. But I'm going to round them up for you and share them on our Facebook group. And I hope y'all will come there and check them out. But what I wanted to say is I have an interesting question. You know how I love an interesting question. And the one today, as I think about the 4th of July and I think about weddings, is what makes something a special occasion? What makes something a special occasion? Now, the reason I'm asking that, and in particular I'm thinking about, is as it relates to alcohol. So last week I started to introduce this topic of my alcohol-free journey. And I'm bringing up what makes a special occasion because alcohol is very central to those special occasions frequently, right? When I was going through the SoberSys program, and then later I had the opportunity to help facilitate other groups of women who were also doing the program. What Jen Couch, who is SoberSys, what Jen says is that if you do the SoberSys program, you will change your relationship with alcohol. She does not guarantee that you will stop drinking. And in fact, many women aren't interested in stopping. They're just simply interested in getting a better handle on their drinking. And I will tell you, I have seen it firsthand. If you follow the program the way she has it outlined, you will emerge from that with a different perspective on alcohol. I know many of you out there have said, I've done the 30-day. It's not a big deal. I've done 30-day alcohol-free, dry January, sober November, all the different ones that come up. No big deal. I can do it. It didn't change anything. It didn't help my sleep. It didn't, nothing was that different. Well, the reason for that is you also, in addition to taking a break from alcohol, you really also need to take a look at your thinking around drinking. Your thinking around drinking. What do I mean by that? We live in a culture that has indoctrinated us with the message that alcohol is how we party, we celebrate, we relax, we have fun, we connect. These messages have been told to us. So these messages have come through us. We see it in our advertising and just in all the day-to-day messaging that we get from our friends, our family, and our culture. Tea towels that make fun of it or laugh at memes, things that, mommy wine culture. You can't get through your day without it, right? So we have come to believe that alcohol is necessary for life in so many ways, right? So when I want to ask the question, what makes something a special occasion? What do I mean by that? Well, when I was facilitating these groups in SoberSys several years ago, Janet and I were working with these women, and like I said, some of them are there to definitely quit drinking. I wasn't. That was not my goal initially. And in fact, I'll tell you this: if somebody had told me that this is a program that you're going to stop drinking alcohol, I would have never signed up for it. Never. I didn't want to quit drinking. I just knew I had a problem with my drinking. I was drinking too much. I was too psychologically dependent on it, if not physically. I was definitely psychologically dependent on it. And so I wanted to change my relationship with alcohol. I did not want to stop. The stopping came later because the more I learned and the more I got disconnected from alcohol, the more I wanted to continue on that path. But I will say, there are a number of women who go through Sober Sis, and their whole goal is just to change their relationship with it, meaning they want to find a way to moderate better than they were doing. Invariably, every single group, someone would say at some point during the 21 days, well, I just want to be able to drink on special occasions. So this always prompted me to ask the question, what is a special occasion? And the first words out of their mouth would be a wedding, New Year's Eve, a party, a birthday, a friend comes in town, whatever. Those were some examples that they would say. That's what is a special occasion. And I said, no, I'm not saying what is a special occasion, but what makes it a special occasion? Is it what is in your glass? You see, that's the message that we've been told, people, is it isn't a special occasion, and you have not duly made it so if you haven't partaken in some alcohol substance, champagne, fancy drinks, whatever. Now, I want you to think about that for a minute, because, like, if it was New Year's Eve and you were drinking apple juice, something else, does that not mean it wasn't a special occasion? It doesn't change that it was a special occasion. It's just what's in your glass. But we have been so indoctrinated and brainwashed into thinking that it's not special unless there's champagne. We must have champagne in order to make it special. So I challenge you to think about that and to think about what is it that makes it special. And here's something, people would say, well, I want to have something to toast with. Now that's a whole nother topic. And I think that's a very important topic, because we as non-alcohol drinking individuals, we want something to drink. We want a pretty glass. We want something festive. We want to feel part of the party. Yeah, having a drink in your hand, it is kind of a security blanket, right? Even if it's not alcohol. You want something to do with your hands. You want to have a glass to toast to people. But it doesn't matter what's inside that glass. The only person that it matters what's inside that glass is to you. If somebody else says, you're not drinking champagne, what's wrong with you? Y'all, that's about them. That's not about you. Just remember that. And thankfully, I think we've gotten to a place in our society that's more embracing of an alcohol-free life, that doesn't see it as, that's just for the losers that can't handle their alcohol. They're the ones that need to sip on some apple juice. No, thankfully, the thinking around drinking has changed substantially. And we see, particularly, believe it or not, in the younger community, the younger generation, millennials, I don't even know what the different terms are now, but the young adults are choosing not to indulge in the alcohol in the ways that we do. They are embracing alcohol-free, zero-proof options at a much higher rate than we ever did. And thankfully, the choices are getting better and better and better. Susie Streelman is the founder and creator of Zero Proof Experiences. And she has a wonderful line. I heard her say it at an event I was at, that I just drink differently. I love that, right? I don't want to say I'm not a drinker. Yeah, I want to drink. I want to drink. I just don't want one that has alcohol in it, right? But I want something festive and pretty. So, what I challenge you to think right now as you think about what makes something a special occasion, is it really what's in your glass that matters? Or is it who you're with? Is it what you're celebrating? Is it the memories that you're making? And FYI, the memories that you're going to actually remember because you didn't drink too much of that alcoholic substance, right? So anyway, I want to suggest to you as we embrace the holiday weekend, and I'm thinking about weddings and special occasions and all the things that surround it. As a host, offer options that are interesting and enticing. And if you don't know what they are, do some research. I'm going to put some things in the show notes, but there are so many good choices out there that we did not have even 5 years ago. When I stopped drinking alcohol, there was O'Doul's, Heineken Zero was just coming on the market, and many bars and restaurants didn't have anything to offer you other than, okay, they could do you a virgin, Bloody Mary. They'd come up with some concoction, and usually it was very, very sugary, not very good. And thankfully, we now see many places not only having offerings, but really featuring these new and exciting options for us. So, in fact, the Garden of the Gods Resort, where we belong here in Colorado Springs, they have an entire dry bar menu that has multiple cocktails on it, as well as 4 or 5 non-alcoholic beer options and several wine options, both a red and a white. This isn't something that we saw 5 years ago. It is exciting, and it is it makes you feel like you're part of a movement that is not only that you're choosing for the health of it, not because you had a problem and you had to stop. And not that there's anything wrong with that. Amen for realizing you had a problem and you needed to stop. But there's also so many reasons for your health and your well-being, and to truly celebrate and make memories that you will remember, not to choose the alcohol, to choose something else. We're also seeing a growth of non-alcohol bars. There's one here in Colorado Springs called Gratitude. They sell kava as well as some beautiful mocktails. They create them that are just fantastic. And they also have NA beer options. It's really exciting to see the flavor opportunities. Now, just know this too. When you're out there, I think one of the things that first strikes people is these options are not cheap. You think that because it's doesn't have alcohol in it, it should be the cost of a Coca-Cola. Well, that's not true. The processing takes some steps, and it takes a lot to make the beverage mimic the taste and the experience of drinking an alcohol beverage, but without the alcohol content. So don't be surprised. You are going to pay, there are nice bottles of non-alcohol wine that's $25, $30, right? That was even a lot of money when I was drinking the real stuff. But I'm just going to say, I think that the options are great. Hey, another one that we really love is Groovy. Groovy is a brand out of, I think they're out of the Denver area. I'm pretty sure about that. And it was started by a young woman and her brother, but they were younger than 30, and they created this kind of during the COVID time. Their story is really interesting. But look at, there are options out there. Ask your friends. If you are hosting a party and you want to know what options you should have, just like there's certain friends that like to have a Cabernet, and there's certain friends that want their Chardonnay, and there's some that want their Jamesons, whatever it is. Be a good host and find out what your friends who don't drink alcohol, what is their beverage of choice? What do they like to have available? I know the AA program, they don't believe, I believe, I shouldn't speak for this, but as I understand it, that they are not supporters of the non-alcohol or alcohol-free options because they think that that mimics too closely the experience and might potentially send someone down a path of drinking again. So I'm not into that debate at all. I just know that if you want to have something that feels festive and fun, there are many options out there. Talk to your friends that don't drink. If you're hosting, see what they are and see if you can have on hand the things that the people that don't drink alcohol want. Let me just say, more and more people are turning to it. I know people that, my oldest son, for example, he has non-alcohol beer in his fridge, and sometimes he and his wife have that just because. So sometimes they have an alcohol version, sometimes they don't. He likes to mix it up a little bit that way. And plus, there's always something for me available at their house when I go. That's wonderful. That's a wonderful, not to feel like you're this oddity that needs to be like, oh, you walk in the door and it's like, oh, what can I? Oh, yeah, that's right. You don't drink. Do you want a glass of water? No, I don't. I want something else. Give me something else. At least get some Topo Chico in your house, right? Have something. If you got some Topo Chico, cut up some fruit, limes or oranges. Have that. Get a little cranberry juice. You can keep somebody that doesn't drink alcohol happy right there with minimal effort. That being said, I also want to say, if you are somebody who isn't a drinker, it should show up with the party with something you want to drink, so that you aren't standing there lost with your empty glass going, there's nothing for me to drink. Be responsible. Take what it is that you want to have with you. So as a host, do some research. There's tons of great options out there. There's a lot you can be, if you really want to be fancy, come up with a signature mocktail. Those are fun to do, and people really, really appreciate that, right? It's special to be able to go, hey, I have been accommodated. I was at a wedding recently at my friends Kyle and Astrid, and they had a mocktail version of their signature drink available for those who didn't want to drink alcohol. And I just thought that's how you make people feel included. That's how you don't feel like you're standing out. You're not secretly going, can you make me something special? No, it's really cool when people are offering that to their guests. And listen, it's not just the people that have chosen not to drink. It's also, there's the people that are pregnant, medical conditions, all those things that are out there. They want to be part of the party. They want to toast something. When we talk about special occasions, the other thing I always laugh about, like I said, there were many girls that would say, but I want to be able to drink for special occasions. Now, one of the reasons that I chose not to go back to any form of drinking, and it was an evolution for me, was that whole concept of moderation, which we can do a whole show on moderation. But I just remember thinking, if I said, okay, I'm going to only drink on special occasions, people, you could watch the bar lower and lower of what makes a special occasion. Hey, it's Sunday. It's a special occasion, right? I have the day off work. It's a special occasion. I finished a project. It's a special occasion. I could make anything into a special occasion. During COVID, I took a shower today. It was a special occasion. So for me, I didn't want to have that mark of a special occasion because I knew I would lower the bar of what a special occasion was. And also, when you say, oh, I want to be able to drink on special occasions, you are still making alcohol into this magical elixir that is an important ingredient or a component to make something special. Things, events, They're special because of what you're celebrating, who you're celebrating, not what's in your glass. So go out there and make it a great day, Outlouders. And I hope everyone did have a magical 4th of July, because by the time you're hearing this, it'll all be over, except for picking up the sparklers out of the front yard. All right. Love y'all. Take care. And bye-bye.